was being asked by lots of people, by friends, by colleagues as well, whether there are real environmental benefits to driving EVs. And although I thoroughly believed it was the case, particularly when you're connecting to solar or a renewable source, I didn't really have the facts and the scientific evidence to hand. So I started doing my own searching, having a look around, and then started realising there were a lot of not particularly factual sources of information, but there's kind of quite a build-up of information counter to the effectiveness of driving EVs. So I went about looking for more credible sources, more trustworthy sources, and came across things like EST or the Guardian series, which demonstrate very convincingly the benefits of EVs in every sense.
We do notice lots of negativity in the media. What impact do you think that's having, Joe?
I think it's making people slower to make decisions on transitioning from polluting fossil fuel vehicles to cleaner vehicles. It's slowing down the transition. That is the main problem. And it's making people don't quite know what to believe.
Yeah, and why do you think it's so important then for people to do their fact-checking and bust these myths that you see in the press and on social?
Well, I think it's important that people find a credible source of information. So if they read something, and it's the same thing that I will say to my children when they come back with information that they read in social media, is that have you checked your sources? Have you checked where that information originated from and the motivation of the people that put it out there? Because obviously we're still in a position where over 90% of vehicles are fossil fuel, and there's a huge market where it's in their interest to create skepticism over the transition to electric vehicles and clean vehicles. And so it's obviously still a minority who are trying to explain why electric vehicles are better for the environment. And you're dealing with kind of a David and Goliath situation still, and it's quite easy for the fossil fuel market to swamp negative information about EVs onto the market.
And can you see things improving over time? Do you think people are getting more used to actually questioning what they're reading these days?
I think they are, but they're also, I think there's a general skepticism about most information, but it can be also the information that's positive and explains the benefits and scientifically explain the benefits of EVs. People can be skeptical about those as well.
So what do we do? What can we do?
What do we do? So I think we've got to stick to, when we're talking about it, being able to direct people consistently to credible sources that use science to back their position. And when we're faced by information that is criticising electric vehicles, I think we want to make sure we're examining their sources so we understand who the opposition is and where they're getting their information from.